of predicting that hockey cards are going to do the same. The hobby, people are going to start looking at hockey stuff, and there's lots of hockey product out there. I have no clue about hockey cards or the players or anything. So this is a huge learning curve for me, as it is probably for a lot of you guys out there as well. But the product, I didn't know that Upper Deck Allure.
It's basically Prism. It's their shot at Prism.
Yeah, Upper Deck has the license, right, for the hockey cards, hockey stuff.
They have the exclusive license for all of hockey, except for, as we talked about before, Capo Caco's autographs, which Panini went out of the way of getting his exclusive right to.
Yeah. However, Panini, so the Capo Caco, I've been looking into him a lot. He's like a hype player right now, right?
Yes, absolutely. He's on the Rangers. He didn't have a great rookie season, but he's still a great player. He's over here from another country hanging out in New York. Probably got to get his feet wet. He's a young kid, and he did a little bit better, I'm assuming he'll even do better next season, but that's sort of the trajectory that he's on.
Yeah, Capo Caco. He was drafted first round, second overall, right behind Kirby Dach, which is another hype player right now, Kirby Dach. And what I did was I went to YouTube and I did my research. I started looking up videos of Kirby Dach, Capo Caco, and who else was it?
Jack Hughes, Quinn Hughes.
Yeah.
Cale Makar.
And what I do is
There's a lot of them.
I go to so what I'm doing to learn hockey stuff is go to the hockeyreference.com, just like basketball reference and football reference. And I look at the draft, okay? So if you go to Hockey Reference, you type in NHL draft, it has all the draft years all the way down to 1963. In Vegas, you can't see this desktop, so I'm going to have to kind of...
I see the delay on the... It's okay. I can see it on the YouTube. I have the YouTube up.
Gotcha. So I'm like, okay, 2019, just like basketball. People wanted to collect and invest in the hype players now that are playing now, like the Trae Young, Luka, Zion, John Morant. Okay, so I think that could happen with the hockey stuff. So I'm like, let's look at the 2019 NHL draft. I didn't watch it. I have no idea, guys. I'm not an expert, so don't take whatever we're saying with a grain of salt. Jack Hughes.
Do your research.
Yeah, and this is just a process that I'm going through to figure out what hockey cards to pick up now for dirt cheap. And guys, these cards are so dirt cheap. So Jack Hughes is number one. Capo Caco. Kirby Dach was number three. Oh, Jack Hughes is one. Okay.
Yeah, Jack Hughes is the guy.
And these guys are actually playing. Their stats are live. These are stats that their rookie year stats. These other guys don't have stats, so I'm assuming they're not playing. Aside from,
and just a word about the way that hockey, I don't mean to interject here, but the way that hockey rookies work is that they ease them in. If you look at a lot of even the better hockey players like Sidney Crosby, even they don't start off with B stats. Like if you get a guy like Luka, he comes into the league, he's putting up B stats on day one in basketball, but in hockey they develop the players more and they ease them in the first couple of seasons, and that's why you're not going to see B stats off the hip. But that doesn't mean that the guy's not going to be a great player. It just that's the way that they develop their players in hockey.
Yeah, that makes sense. So we have the hype names right now in hockey: Austin Matthews, Connor McDavid, back in 2005, Sidney Crosby. So these first round picks, I'm trying to figure out, are all these guys, Dale Hawerchuk back in 81, he was a first rounder. His rookie cards, Mario Lemieux, I think that's how you say his name.
Mario Lemieux is basically the other guy aside from Wayne Gretzky that has the biggest market cap. Wayne Gretzky and Mario Lemieux are the two vintage players that people put the most money into for investing.
Gotcha. So I know a little bit about the vintage stuff, but what I'm getting from this is I'm looking to invest in the first rounders first. So Jack Hughes, Rasmus Dahlin, I'm not sure how he's performed, but I definitely know from Alex, he's talked a lot about Austin Matthews and Connor McDavid, and that makes sense. First round draft picks. However, does that apply to all these other guys as well? Lots of research to look through in order for me to decide who I want to go in on. Alex Ovechkin, obviously, he's a big name. He was a first rounder. So a good place to start is going here and looking at these first round guys and seeing what the prices of their card. Now, 2019, it's all the hype videos I've been looking at. It's Jack Hughes, Capo Caco, and Kirby Doc. I think a lot of guys are hype on Kirby Doc, even though he's like smaller, and a lot of guys say he looks like a boy playing amongst men, and Capo looks like a man playing amongst men. So I'm like, okay, Capo's bigger. He has the more traditional kind of hockey setup physically, and Kirby's like a smaller guy. But that's still, I'm going on hype. And also, I went to Google Trends, just like Google Trends, and I did just like we talked in the last video.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, okay, who has the hype right now? Is it Kirby Doc, Capo, or
Cale Makar and Quinn Hughes? Because they're both still in the playoffs. They're both rookies. Quinn Hughes is the brother of Jack Hughes, and he's definitely the guy you want. He's playing with the Canucks right now against my Golden Knights. And Cale Makar, I believe, is on the Avalanche over there with Nathan McKinnon and Landeskog.
Yeah, you just threw out a lot of information. I still have to sit down and watch them. But yeah, by all means, there's a lot of guys that can follow you, know what you're talking about. But even getting into the playoffs, like I have to watch these games. I'm just like, I'm very green.
How much have you watched hockey though? Like, have you gotten into watching it some?
Just the highlight videos on YouTube. I have yet to watch a full game.
Oh, God, it's so awesome, dude. We should watch a game simultaneously together on StreamYard like this. The next Golden Knights.
Yeah, and talk about the positions and
yep.
the responsibilities and stuff like that, because it's just a huge learning curve for me.
Yes, and PD is right. Do not purchase defensemen because they do not create excitement. In hockey, there's so much action. The puck is all over the place. And one of the things that I've heard people say they don't like is that there's not a lot of scoring. But that's okay because the action to get to the score is so awesome. And it's a brutal sport. People are getting checked. You can actually grab your opponent by his face and punch him in it until you don't, you know what I mean? Like you can punch somebody in hockey. That's okay. You could barely touch somebody in basketball. You look at him wrong, you get a T from a stupid ref. In hockey, you can grab him by his shirt and knock his helmet across the ice.
Yeah, I've seen like the referees will actually allow them to fight and just like
they do. They cheer them on.
Yeah, it's hockey. So like the more I look into it and the more I learn about it, the more excited I get about hockey stuff. And I think that's going to be the same for a lot of collectors out there that are entering into the hobby. I think they're going to, start looking at hockey more.
I think so too. I think it's just a slow bloomer because it's not American culture.
Yeah, it's like the northern states, Canada, obviously big in hockey, but Canada's big in basketball and football too.
It's true.
And I know that they like to collect the what was it? The Young Guns, right? That's the card to get.
Young Guns is the flagship marquee. It's like the rated rookie of hockey's if rated rookie what was Prism status in the basketball market. So Young Guns, that's the card everybody goes for. That's the one that's the most expensive. If you look at the raw Young Guns, the ratio versus PSA 10s is only like 2 or 3. So it's either that Upper Deck makes an amazing card or people go for those raw Young Guns very hard.
Yeah, and like they're crazy.
They're
crazy expensive, and there's nothing, in my opinion, as a collector, there's nothing fancy about them. They're like almost like just base top stuff, right?
They're just base attractive cards. I mean, Upper Deck does make a good looking card, but yes, they're just base cards.
I mean, it has the Upper Deck logo on it. It has the Rangers, the NHL logo and stuff.
And they do make variations, they make the short prints with the gold or whatever, and they make exclusives.
Oh, okay, I didn't know that.
They do weird ones. They make the canvas as well. I have one of those I'm sending to PSA probably in the next couple of days. The Capo Caco Young Guns. It's just a good looking card. Nice action shot. I know you don't like the full borders, but I mean that's it's not entirely a full border, but it's a good looking card.
It's borderless. It's a full bleed, right? Photo.
Right. Yeah. They just have the bottom stuff, and that's it.
So for me, as a collector, if I'm looking to get into hockey cards, okay, I look at the hype players, first round, second round, third round draft picks, and I'm looking at the other options. I'm taking angles that traditional hockey collectors aren't buying right now. In my opinion, they're overlooking. So I'm like, okay, Capo Caco. What about? Okay, there's a select card. This is interesting. We were talking about this. His select. Now, there's only 2 select cards. There's Capo Caco, and then this other guy.
Vitali something or other, but he's not even in the league yet. He's just like in a minor league scenario. He's not even in the NHL.
Yeah, look at this. There's a lot of 3 prisms with 2 Vitali and 2 Capo. So there's 2 variations. There's a Capo, the Finland logo, and then there's just the regular the New York the Rangers uniform.
And I think most people will prefer the Rangers long term.
True, I agree. And I was looking at these other day, and I was like, I don't know which one to buy. And I think you're right. I think they want the Rangers version, but the silver. This is a lot of 3 for $25. Now Panini doesn't have the license, and there's not any team logos on it, which is kind of a drawback. However, guys, I think for the price, these have a huge upside. Even this one, 114. This is
the reason why I think that these have upside that people might not realize is because I don't think the print run for these cards can be that big, because one, the hockey market isn't that big. So even though Panini definitely wants to get in the hockey market, which that in and of itself should be an indicator that hockey could be on the horizon because Panini wants in. So the next thing is that they can't have a very big print run. So if Capo Caco becomes a big player 5 years down the road and hockey gets a lot more interest over that 5 years, these short printed Capo Caco select and prism cards that no one gave a rat's ass about at the time are probably going to be pretty valuable.
And that's what I'm thinking too. Like, this is 5 years, maybe even sooner than that with the way the hobby's growing. 1 year, 2 years.
Yeah, exactly.
But these are dirt cheap. So I said, okay, select is definitely an option, low-hanging fruit option for hockey cards. And then you introduced the Upper Deck Allure set, which I've been going through YouTube and watching people break these boxes and seeing what the odds of getting these. So Upper Deck Allure is, to me, it's similar to Panini Select stuff. Okay, it has similar qualities. It has like the chromium finish, and then there's parallels.
Yeah, I think it's Select. It looks more like Select than Prism, but I think that as a group, we should bill it as the hockey Prism to try to get the most attention from the other people. Come on over to hockey.
Yeah, so here's a great example: the Yellow Taxi die cut. It has, it's a great looking card. It has
beautiful stuff.
Upper Deck has the license, so there's the team name, and I think Upper Deck is trying to compete with Panini with their products. And I think the Allure set is kind of their version of the Panini Select. There's a white. Now, the whites are rare, but there's much more rarer variations. And the red even, I like the red.
The red looks nice, yeah.
Even the base stuff, I like the base, Upper Deck Allure stuff. This is dirt cheap. And if you look, well, actually it was. I think the prices have gone up a little bit from last
They have gone up some. They have. It's just a slow creep, but you're starting to get a little bit, because, the playoffs are pretty intense right now.
Yeah, that's something I need to get into as well. I need to start watching hockey. And
you won't be bored, because it's definitely, other than basketball, hockey is by far the most exciting sport to watch. I like football. I'm not the biggest fan of baseball these years, but hockey and basketball, it's all action all the time.
Yeah, what I'm trying to do is get a list of players that I'm going to watch, and I need to find their teams, find their schedules, and then that way I'm excited to watch the game, because you'll be rooting for them. And
right, essentially, you got their cards. Yeah,
you're hoping that the stock of that player goes up if they score 3 goals in that game or whatever, which would be tremendous. I'm like, okay, I'm going to buy more.
Which is why we don't buy defensemen, because people want those guys that are creating the action.
Yeah, so let's look at these stats, and let's go down. Actually, let's get out of here. Let's go to Austin Matthews, and I'm going to show you guys what I'm looking for. Wow, he doesn't have a very heavy resume. Let's go to somebody else. I think Connor McDavid has a pretty impressive.
Connor McDavid is the LeBron James of hockey.
Okay.
I mean, that's how people relate to him. And Connor McDavid, he like transcends hockey. And if hockey is going to grow, it's going to be because people like Connor McDavid. Because even people in the chat are like, I don't really know anything about hockey, but I know Connor McDavid.
Yeah. So here's his resume. He's a 3-time All-Star, 2016 Hart Award, 2-time Ross Trophy winner, 2-time Pearson, Ted Lindsay Award winner. Stuff that I need to look into and see. But if you look at hockey stuff, having these accolades is tough. And there's somebody in here that I was looking at. I think it was Ovechkin.
And just to talk about the price difference here, let me give you guys a quick example with Connor McDavid. His Young Guns rookie card is about $500. So you can look at that as like essentially their version of the popular Prism, whatever. The most popular Young Guns, $500 for the raw card. Now, how much is his platinum O-Pee-Chee platinum card 2015?
Yeah.
That is only $40. I bought like 10 of
Gotcha.
them when they were $20, but that's the big difference. That's like 12 times or 10 times. I mean, it can't be that big of a disparity. I mean, it's crazy.
Okay, so we have a 2015 Upper Deck Young Guns Connor McDavid PSA 10. Buy it now for $850. This one sold
it's gone down a little bit.
Well, this one sold at auction for $1,033 on August 29th. So that buy it now was a good deal.
Somebody done screwed up.
Yeah, you listened.
So, oops. We call that oops.
And then Probstein sold one for $1,250, PWCC for $1,150, which, you know, arguably inflated, $1,050. So pretty high for Connor McDavid. But you said he has an O-Pee-Chee card?
Yeah, 2015 Platinum Connor McDavid. And this is essentially like a Topps Chrome.
Gotcha. Yep. And so we want to do
and it's doubled in value in the last like 2 months. So it has accrued value.
2015. Oh, I didn't put the year in. Okay, that's just the base sold for $35. We're all ungraded. Ooh, these are the okay. So I've been picking up these Capo Caco, the silvers, O-Pee-Chee Platinum. This one sold for $225, and it's off.
Yeah, they have the short prints sell for a bunch of these too. The platinum short prints, they do go after those. That was a rainbow right there, which is essentially silver for Prism.
Gotcha. They're called rainbows, right?
Yeah, they're called rainbows. Yep, that's the silver one. So we're going to be looking for rainbows in the hockey world, guys and gals.
Rainbows, not silvers or prisms. But
right.
These are like the upside on these. I think these are more attractive than the Young Guns. As a collector, I would want the O-Pee-Chee rainbows. Is there a Upper Deck Allure? When did Upper Deck start creating the Allure set?
Allure, this is the first year of Allure. This is first year Allure. So that's like basically first year Prism. That's why I'm saying, guys, get on this. That's why I told you. I was like, man, these cards are like $1. I just bought like $200 worth of them and got like tons and tons of all the best rookies. Like what? Just, it's crazy.
I thought they previously were making Upper Deck Allure. So 2019.
No, sir.
Wow, that's awesome.
That's what I mean. We're getting in on the ground floor, man, of hockey Prism.
So there's no Connor McDavid Upper Deck Allure rookie. It's only the 2019. That's awesome.
That's why yes.
O-Pee-Chee Platinum would be the way to go for low-hanging fruit on Connor McDavid for sure. I agree.
It doesn't get any cheaper than that, man. It's only going up.
Yeah, and he's got Alex Ovechkin 2005. I'm not sure about the older, like the early 2000 stuff.
Yeah, it's basically Ovechkin and Sidney Crosby are both 2005, and the low hanging fruit there would be the Fleer, because there are some Fleer versions, but I think those are still like $150 versus the Young Guns, which are over $1,000.
The 2005.
Yeah, the 2005 Young Guns are over $1,000 for each of those guys.
So looking at Sidney Crosby, man, he's a 3-time Cup winner, 8-time All-Star, 2-time Hart beast stats.
Yeah, like he's Giannis to LeBron essentially, or he's more of a LeBron. That's actual LeBron Crosby right there.
I'm gonna type in 2005 Sidney Crosby. Let's go ahead and say what'd you say? The set was Fleer.
Fleer, yes, the Fleer.
Is there a Young Gun set?
There is a Young Gun set in 2005, yeah. and like I said, they're like a K. They're
Dang.
big money.
This one's listed for like 5,000. PSA 10.
Yeah, PSA 10. Yes, I think they sell for around the 2,500 to 3K mark, realistically.
Yeah. Okay. They got some reasonable ones in here. A BGS 95 2,500 with 19 watchers. I mean, I like the photo of the Young Guns. I'm just not a huge fan of the price.
Yeah, the Young Guns they just get out of hand quick because that's the one that everyone wants.
So let's look at the Fleer. You said there's a Fleer set.
Yeah, 2005 Fleer. And honestly, they're still making Fleer metal. Like I picked up a Connor McDavid Fleer metal for $10. It's like 30 now or something. So you can still get
Fleer metal hockey set.
Yeah, they have Fleer metal hockey, dude. It's nice.
Let's see. I gotta look that up.
Yeah. The other guy that you guys could want to pick up right now because it's the off season and he's just as much of a beast as guys like Connor McDavid and all those popular top end guys is Jack Eichel for the Buffalo Sabres. If you guys are into hockey, you probably know who I'm talking about, but I've got tons of his Young Guns. They're about $60 a piece. I've got tons of his O-Pee-Chee Platinum I picked up for about $2 a pop. I'm telling you guys, Jack Eichel next season, he was so pissed that he wasn't in the playoffs. He's coming out like hellfire.
Was he a first rounder?
I don't know, but I'm pretty sure he probably. Let me look it up real quick. I'm pretty sure he was.
His draft year? Do you remember?
Jack Eichel is the same year as Connor McDavid, 2015.
Oh, okay. Let's look him up.
Yeah, so he was drafted second pick. Yeah.
Nice. Let's look at his stats.
Yeah, he's a beast, dude.
So
Eichel, is it Eichel? Yeah, Eichel or Eichel, either way, Eichel. I wasn't sure which. I knew it was a toss up, one of those two. Eichel.
It says Jack Eichel.
Eichel.
Yep, Jack Eichel. His pronunciation is spelled I don't know how this is pronounced. That IGH. These names, guys, I'm never gonna get these hockey names right. He's Buffalo. I mean, I'm not sure what I'm looking at here. All I know is I got to look up here for those the resume, and then the goals, and then there's also the leaders, just like I do on basketball cards. Who's leading all-time career hockey stats?
Yeah, and then, look at that, guys. Points and assists from 2019, 42 assists and 36 goals for Eichel. That's beast mode.
So let's look at career goals. I think that'd be a good stat to.
Sure, 40. Career goals is a good one for sure.
And then the star is a Hall of Fame. Yeah, going through here and looking at all these players, getting familiar with them is something it's just part of the process of doing your research, and it's what I've been doing.
It's fun. I love it. I love research. I love statistics.
Yeah.
That's how I got good at poker, analyzing all that stuff and just really getting into the mechanics of how it all works.
So what's the difference between points and goals?
Points, if you assist someone, then that counts as a point as well. So if you get an assist and a goal in a game, you scored 2 points.
Nice. I didn't know that. That makes sense.
Yeah, because again, the scoring is so rare, that assist counts as a point. Because it looks real fancy when they pass, and then,
mm-hmm.
I mean, yeah, it's just beautiful. Hockey's a beautiful game.
Alex Ovechkin is moving up, 2005. Sidney Crosby. I like to look at the active players and where they're at currently.
Yeah, Crosby and Ovechkin, two of the big ones.
Yeah, they're moving up there. Patrick Kane,
Kane's a beast too, man. Definitely a good player.
2007 rookie, 3-time Cup winner. Yeah, it's interesting stats. He's 31 years old.
Easy Hall of Famer, Patrick Kane.
Goals, 389 career goals so far, 1,022 points. And he's 2007. Definitely someone to look into further, I think. Let's go to the comments, guys. I'm going to see what's going on in the comments. I've just been doing...
No, you're good, man. We're having a great time here.
So
It
you
is.
guys,
Nico's right. Hockey is the redheaded step kid, but I mean that's going to all change. I mean we've already seen some improvements in the market, and I believe hockey will still make a slow claw. And I don't think it's going to be a fast rise. We might not get an explosion in hockey. I mean we might, but it's more likely that it just keeps going up slowly as more people become accustomed to it.
Nico K says Young Guns are the staple set for any collector. Well, any traditional hockey collector. Now, I think that when guys who don't know what they're doing come in, they're going to want to start buying the stuff that is, similar to the modern football, modern basketball, which is like the Upper Deck Allure. I think Panini Select stuff. But however, Upper Decks is always going to be a great card to pick up. I think it's the one all the traditional hockey collectors are going for.
Yeah, you can never go wrong.
So I'm not saying that's a bad option. I'm just saying that there's a lot of other cheap stuff to be picking up.
Yeah, he's basically saying that for players who are already established, their Young Guns cards are probably going to be $20-$30 or more for just like a decent player. So you probably want to look towards those Allure or Platinum, which are basically like $1 or $2 for no reason at all.
Yeah. Yeah, hockey cards are definitely I'm looking into. And so, like, if I wanted to watch the games, are they on like Sling TV? Like, is that how you watch them? I'm not sure how hockey does their games.
I mean, they have like NHL TV and whatnot. I know where I watch mine, but I'm not really at liberty to say. But you can find hockey if you want to. And there might even be a couple of nice games today. Let's see what the schedule looks
Sunday,
like.
August 30th. Are they they're in the playoffs?
Yeah, they're in the playoffs right
Gotcha.
now. They're down to the last few teams.
And that's something I need to figure out as well, is how the playoff system works, how the regular season games work, stuff like that.
What games are today anyway? Today's Sunday.
Avalanche and Stars play at 6. Flyers and the Islanders play at 8.
Yeah, tonight the Knights and the Canucks are playing. Hell yeah, I'm going to watch that.
10:30. Dang, it's a late game.
Mm-hmm. What time do you go to bed, man? You want to watch that game?
10:30. I'll be in bed.
There you go. Watch it from bed.
So they got back-to-back games. Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. That's cool. Thursday.
It's like basketball in that sense that you get games pretty much every day during the regular season.
So the Rangers aren't in it?
No, the Rangers aren't in it.
Oh, okay. What about the Blackhawks? Nope.
Blackhawks are gone too.
So
the Avalanche is there. They've got Cale Makar, Nathan McKinnon. The Canucks have Elias Pettersson, and I've got a bunch of his rookie cards in that Rainbow Platinum. I got those for about $8 a piece, and he's a guy who Wayne Gretzky said sees a lot of himself in him, and people are all about Pettersson. But if you guys want a dude that you want to definitely pick up, the Tampa Bay Lightning has Braden Point, and I'm telling you, that kid can score. He's like the Steph Curry of hockey. I mean,
really?
Braden Point, yeah. So I pick up as much Braden Point in the Platinum and Allure and whatnot. Well, his rookie's Platinum. I think it's like 17 or 18. But yeah, Braden Point,
how do you spell
fantastic. Brayden Point, Point.
Bray.
Yeah.
Den. Okay. 24. More stats that I have to look into. So Braden Point is on your
Tampa Bay Lightning
to buy list. Tampa Bay Lightning.
Oh God, yeah, he's definitely one of those guys that I think is going to be real flashy. Scores a lot of points. He's going to score even more next season, I'm sure.
He was a 2016 rookie, huh?
Yeah.
There's so many options.
That's true.
And so what I like to do, guys, coming back to the Google Trends, is I like to look at the players that are getting searched and recognition. And so far, Jack Hughes seems to be dominating the search results in Google.
Search results, yeah.
He is.
What about Quinn Hughes? Did you look up Quinn Hughes?
Is that the same person, or are they brothers?
No, it's his brother. It's his brother.
Okay.
But Quinn Hughes is on the Canucks with Elias Pettersson, and they're playing against the Golden Knights. So
No,
he's still in. But Quinn Hughes is more popular, I believe, than Jack Hughes.
no. Well, people search Jack Hughes tremendously more than Quinn.
Yeah, it looks crazy.
Capo and Kirby Doc are right there with him, but Jack Hughes is up there.
I would love it for the Devils to be good. I like the Devils.
Let's see what Connor McDavid brings in.
Oh shit, dude! It's gonna be like basketball levels. Connor McDavid's gonna be the top line. He has to be. It's not even close.
He definitely beat the other three, but
yeah,
not Jack Hughes. He had a spike. He had a spike.
Oh damn.
Nope.
Damn, Jack Hughes, what are you doing, man?
He must be. I'm not sure. Let's look up Jack Hughes.
That's crazy.
Dang, look at this nice looking card. Upper Deck Stature.
Yeah, Stature's beautiful. I bought a box of Stature. I got like a nice short print Pasternak and Mitch Marner. Sold those. I got an Adam Fox rookie card. He's also a good Rangers rookie. I got an autograph of that. Sold it for.
Something happened to your mic. I think you muted it. There's an on-card autograph. Serial numbered out of 49. Interesting. Jack Hughes. Upper Deck Allure, Jack Hughes rookie, PSA 10, 130. Yeah, these are some nice looking cards. Look at this one, Upper Deck Trilogy out of 9999. It looks like it's a foil serial number. This would be one that I would definitely. Well, it doesn't look like it's. The condition looks rough. I think you got to change your settings on your the mic settings. You got to turn it back on. It says that it's unplugged. But for $8, I think that'd be a decent pickup. I mean, now I want to get these. My intention is submitting these to PSA and having them graded, and hope that next year or two, the market is going to be there for these cards. Ooh, look at this one, out of 50. It's a Steel, rookie Steel, only $10. I'm gonna go ahead and watch this one. You can't beat that. Only 50 exists. It's a die cut. It looks like the Optic Shock, kind of. And then the orange out of 199. That's a steal, I think. So lots of options out there for you guys who are looking to get into hockey. There's a yellow taxi. I love those yellow taxi ones. I picked up a yellow taxi Capo Caco, I think for $6. Upper Deck Stature is the best new set out there. It's a new set. I definitely like that auto. There we go. Okay. Yeah, I can hear you now.
I don't know what happened. I think I might have hit like a hotkey accidentally that muted my mic in the whatever it is that we're using.
So he says the hockey games are on NBC. Jack Eichel, Leaf Clear rookie.
I apologize for the mic issues, guys. We are back. Did I miss anything?
No, I'm just talking about the options out there for
Yeah, dude,
hockey.
Allure is so good, and it's first year Allure. So if you guys think about the future, Connor McDavid is only a few years into his career. So let's say fast forward 10 years, he's 15 years in, he's the LeBron James of hockey, he's the next Wayne Gretzky. What's his first year Allure card going to be worth that we picked up for $2 because nobody gave a rat's ass about it? $100, $200, $400? I don't know, but I know that it's there. And I know you can get it now if you want it for just a couple dollars.
Oh, look at that. The looks like the basketball Panini Threads, the James Harden I was picking up. Upper Deck did with similar one.
Some very nice James Harden cards, man. Those select, they're so good looking.
That's in my low hanging fruit video. It's not been released to the public yet.
Oh,
so don't say too much.
I won't say anything else.
No, I'm just kidding, man.
But will you just tell them that you love James Harden?
Yeah.
I love James Harden. I got a bunch of James Harden Topps rookies at PSA, and man, I can't wait for them to come back.
Yeah, that's definitely one of the cards if you got in early. Man, I'm just obsessed with these hockey stuff.
I love it, dude. I'm with you. This hockey stuff is amazing. I've made 3 videos about it so far. Just, you guys gotta get hockey cards.
Yeah, I remember you talking like on one of our first one-on-one chats. You were talking about the hockey stuff. If you guys are looking to get hockey stuff, hockey content, check out Vegas Finds 777 on YouTube. He has a YouTube channel. Just started it, really, kind of, right? You're getting into the.
I'm starting to make more consistent content as I figure it all out. I'm having a good time with it, and it's been fun. Picking up a little bit of speed, starting to get random subscribers in the middle of the night, you know.
That's how YouTube works. Oh, right.
Man, these cards are good looking, and having them in your hands, you can see that they're a high quality, like a Prism or Select. It's just very nice cards. These Allure.
Yeah, I was excited. I just got the yellow taxi, and I wanted to buy a couple cards to see what they actually look like in hand before I started going all in on them. And man, they're way more attractive and visually like eye appealing than I thought. So I'm excited about the Upper Deck Allure set. I'm excited about the O-Pee-Chee Platinum, which we really haven't looked at yet. I'll go ahead and pull that up, and I'll show you guys the O-Pee-Chee, which is another super cheap option. And we all know O-Pee-Chee is hockey. However, there's baseball O-Pee-Chee 80s, 90s stuff that's going up. They don't make it anymore, but Upper Deck acquired them from Topps, I think. I'm not sure.
Yes. Upper Deck did buy the O-Pee-Chee name, so they do own O-Pee-Chee. They bought that back in sometime in 2000, and I don't want to say the mid 2000s, but maybe 2007.
So check out these Jack Hughes O-Pee-Chee. Now these kind of remind me of the Topps Chrome set as well. There's a Chrome version, and then there's I guess it's a refractor, but they call it a rainbow. Here's one out of $3.99. Purple for $22. Jack Hughes, decent centering. That's one I would pick up. I would make an offer. $10.
Yeah,
And
they'll take it.
What's crazy is these hockey sellers, they're not seeing a lot of action on these sets. So if you make a low ball offer, they're going to work with you.
Take it. They'll take it.
They'll take it. I was so surprised at these low ball offers I was making, and they were just accept. And it's crazy because the market.
It's a nice card. It's got a lot of potential, but until the interest comes from more places, it's just going to sit. So people like us who don't mind waiting on, $300 in a hockey investment, you can just take that fruit and just leave it there. And it's like, you guys always hear me talking about implied odds, and I'd rather buy a slightly worse player for a 12th of the price that has a lot of upside. These cards have about as much upside as you can possibly get. Their first year, their quality, you've got good rookies, the price is dirt cheap, and when hockey does have a reckoning, if it does, these cards are going to get so much attention because people know Prism, so they'll go for the Allure style card. They know Bowman Chrome and Topps Chrome, so they'll go for that Chrome style Platinum card. And they're going to be shut out from the Young Guns, some of them. You could try to go for Young Guns. I can't get a Connor McDavid for less than $500.
Yeah.
Some people are going to be shut out, and they're going to need something else. And they already know these formats anyway. So that is what will get the attention, and that is what will increase the price.
Yes, I'm thinking so too. People are going to want to get into hockey. They're going to see the Young Guns are expensive, and they're going to look at the other options. They're also going to say that, hey, I like these cards, these sets better. Just like we're talking about. So here's the rainbow, and it's hard to see, kind of, but you can tell it's a refractor.
It's good looking. It's just like a silver prism.
And the marquee rookies are the rookie cards, O-Pee-Chee Platinum. Very nice design, I think. Very easy to grade if you buy them from a seller that has good pictures. They have the chromium finish, so PSA. It's going to be easy to grade, like I said.
And that's the other thing, is that there's another opportunity there. He is the PSA collector, this guy right here next to me. And I'm telling you guys, people do not mass submit to PSA when it comes to hockey. The only people that get mass submit are young guns of the highest caliber players. So yes, Connor McDavid has been mass submit to PSA, but when you have a set come out, you don't have every player getting tons of submissions. So that means if you pick these cards up now and you do the submitting, then when you get those cards back and then hockey gets more attention, you're going to have that lion's share of low population hockey PSA 10s and 9s. That is something to also try and do.
Yeah, get in now for dirt cheap.
And send a bulk submission to PSA with like 200 hockey cards or some, and then just let them sit.
And sit. Yep. Long-term investment. Lots of options out there. Super low-hanging fruit. And like we talked about earlier, if hockey's something that you're looking to get into, start watching some games, start doing some research, get excited about it. Don't just do it because you want to try to make some money. Become a collector first. Collect what you want to collect, the players that you want to collect, the sets that you want to collect, and then the investment is going to follow. I've been saying that since day one. Collect first, and the investment will come. Now, that doesn't mean you can go out and collect anybody just because you like them because you met them once. You got to be strategic with who you collect. The players, they have to have potential. They have to have hype potential. They have to be good entertainers, stuff like that. Hall of Fame potential, stuff like that. But that's hockey. Just wanted to do a video, share with you guys our kind of what we've been talking about lately, and see our theory, and see where you guys were at on the hockey stuff. I want to do more hockey stuff. I think I like buying cheap. I like buying dirt cheap and selling for high. And hockey, I think, is super dirt cheap right now. Basketball cards, it's super tough to find these dirt cheap stuff anymore. But
it's true, and that stuff has a lot of upside.
There's football dirt cheap still out there too. That you've been looking into a lot, and I've kind of been looking into football lately. But it's tough because the market is so, with football cards, it's so sensitive. A player's stock could go up, and then all of a sudden it can just drop, down by 50%. With injuries and performance, I think a player's card is the value is it relies on the team's performance in a sense. So if you're a quarterback and you're a good quarterback, let's say Phillip Rivers,
right.
Well, his team just isn't there to help him, succeed. There's lots of players out there, quarterbacks, who have the skill set, but they don't have the supporting cast, the supporting crew to help their kind of like. So Kirk Cousins, I was buying a lot a while ago, and then he got traded. He took a dump in the Minnesota Vikings, and I sold his cards. Now that's not the team's fault. I think that's Kirk Cousins' fault. So it goes both ways. You can be a hyped up quarterback on a great team. However, if you don't perform, then your card stock can just essentially go to zero. So because it's so sensitive, I kind of took a step back. And if I were to do football cards, it would be like vintage stuff, like check the Pro Reference, Football Pro Reference, and check those guys who have the career all-time stats. Passing.
I think football cards are kind of dangerous, to be honest with you, because there's the prices are very high. First of all, you can't get a decent quarterback and a Prism rookie, whether he's a 2019 or a 1919. You're just not going to get him for under like $60 or $70. Even the speculative guys. Now the problem there becomes the entry is too high. Like for most players, I mean, you can't just go speculating on a $60 rookie that if he sucks, he's just going to the value is going to be $10. So it's just a very high volatility investment. It's very dangerous, and I prefer to find either lower end cards like select cards or sometimes a quarter of the price of the Prism cards. So you got to really be careful with the football guys that you're picking up, and that's why I like going for some of the lower end guys, or even picking up Amari Coopers at $12 or less, which is the most I paid for any of the ones that I had that weren't graded. I think that makes a better investment opportunity as far as day trading goes, which is essentially what we've been trying to do throughout the trying to take advantage of the excitement of the playoffs and football coming back, et cetera, as well. So I think that you got to really be careful with some of your football card investments. Even if you want to day trade them, don't just go running out and just buying all these $70 guys that just have no career, you have no basis, and they might just suck. You might not have a good season. They might get injured at any point. It's just a high volatility, so you got to be ready to take that. A card could go to zero. So I mean, pretty much at any point in that game.
And if you look at the vintage, well, not vintage, I guess 90s stuff, the 89 score Barry Sanders. These cards have.
I have it. I love it.
You have a gem. You have a raw or what?
I don't have it. I have it at PSA right now, but I got a couple of Barry Sanders 89 score. Busted one out of a pack.
Oh yeah.
But I think you're right. I love the vintage stuff even more. Even guys like Emmitt Smith, Barry Sanders, Bo Jackson. I have like 13 Bo Jackson 1988 Topps rookies at PSA right now.
1988 Topps, but where he's sitting on the bench.
Yeah, he's just chilling. But I mean, it's awesome because it's the Raiders. It's like my favorite football team, and then it's Bo Jackson, my guy. I mean, just the whole thing makes me happy all the way around.
Yeah, I mean, I like these 89 score Barry Sanders, but Barry Sanders has a bunch of potential cards going up. He has, I mean, Emmitt Smith as well. He has that score supplemental, the purple, which, back, I never thought in a million years that these cards would be going up in value.
Yeah, I mean, who knew? But these guys are the most popular guys, the most heralded. When you think back to your childhood, when you're of this age group, these are the guys. It was Barry Sanders, Bo Jackson, Emmitt Smith. Those were, I mean, the quarterbacks were there too. You had all your Montanas always, Marinos, but man, you couldn't touch a candle to Barry Sanders at the time.
Yeah, some argue that Barry Sanders was is the best running back of all time. Had he not cut his career short,
right?
Emmitt Smith would have never caught him, but he retired early. I mean, who can blame him? He was playing on the Lions.
Yeah, seriously. I mean, that's even Matthew Stafford's like, well, man, what are you gonna do?
Yeah, what are you gonna do? And that's another great example of football cards and how sensitive they are. Like Stafford has the stats, he has the potential. However, his team that he's on, it's just it brings the value down. Look at this, $1,000 for the 89 or 1990 score.
That's a 9? Oh, $139 or 9. Oh yeah, I see here. Yeah.
Gem Mint 10. Man, these were so dirt cheap. Let's see how cheap they were. I'm going off on a football tangent right now. Because, like I said, who would have thought that these cards would be going up? Score as much as they are.
I mean, a lot of the vintage stuff, I mean, the problem is that it was really difficult to grade because of the way that the sets look. 1985 Topps has a black border. That's really hard to get centered. It's really hard to get a clean grade on it. That's Warren Moon's rookie year. And then you got 1986 Topps, which is one of my favorite designs. That's got Steve Young and Jerry Rice rookies, but it's a green border with all those little candy cane stripes, and that's very difficult to get graded well. So, I mean, a PSA 10 Jerry Rice 1986 Topps goes for infinite. It goes for probably 15 or 20,000 or more. I'm not entirely sure. I just know it's very expensive. And then the 9 goes for like 150. And if you look at the population report, you'll see that reflect because it's so much harder that there's a gigantic disparity between 10 and 9.
Yeah, that's a huge factor when considering the value. So if you look at in January of this year, 356, 326 for a PSA 10. That's a PWCC auction as well. $326 in January of this year. They are now currently selling for over $1,000 on average.
It's just up.
$800 to $1,000, up and down. But still, if you paid $300 for it back in January, you're already essentially tripled your money.
And who knew that all of that attention was going to come in, and those players are the first ones that are going to get attention, the ones that people remember.
Mm-hmm. Well, he's also in the stats. Emmitt Smith is, if you look at his stats, and I think that has a huge, it plays a huge role in the value of these cards, or their cards. So three-time Super Bowl champ, 8-time Pro Bowl, Hall of Fame. However, if you look at the leaders, he is going to be, now let's see here, rushing yards. You got to go down to rushing attempts, rushing yards, rushing touchdowns. Let's look at the rushing yards. I guarantee you he's got to be number one, Emmitt Smith.
Emmitt?
Yeah, he's number
Emmitt
one.
Or Barry?
18,355 yards. No, Barry Sanders, even though he didn't play as many years, he's at number 4. Look at AP's number 5 at 14,000. Adrian Peterson, LaDainian Tomlinson, Jerome Bettis, top 10. So Emmitt Smith is leading, and the 18,000 yards. Walter Payton only had 16,000 only. I mean, that's still a lot. Frank Gore is active. He has 15,000. So Frank Gore is someone I was looking into a while ago because his stuff is still, I think, cheap. 2005 tops. I think he's going to be, he might be able to, I think, let's see where he's at so far. So not even 600, about 600 yards 2019. He might beat Walter Payton's all-time record. I don't know.
Walter Payton's a guy that you can safely pick up his cards if you guys
for
like.
Sure. Yeah, for sure. He's a solid running back option.
I mean, if you bet on a Wheaties box, chances are you're a safe pickup.
If you ask people who the best running back of all time is, they're gonna say like Walter Payton. Some might even say O.J. Simpson. However,
I got some O.J. cards accidentally.
I can't believe how expensive the O.J. Simpson rookie cards were. I think that they've gone down tremendously, but they used to be like so expensive. Those were like the ones to get. 1970 tops, O.J. Simpson. All these running backs.
He just doesn't have the will of the people anymore,
If you're over 15,000, I think your rookie card is a solid investment. Even 14,000, like Curtis Martin, he might be somebody to look into as a running back option because he's up there. And there's other stats to consider as well. Running touchdowns. Let's see what those are at. Rushing touchdown. Who's the all-time career leader in rushing touchdowns? Emmitt Smith. There we go. Yep, his cards. LaDainian. Yep. LT's number 2 at 145. Marcus Allen, number 3.
I just sold an LT rookie in a PSA 8 for $90.
Oh, really? The 1982
tops.
82 tops. Yep. Oh man, those are some of my favorite iconic rookie cards.
And I'll tell you what, Montana cards. Joe Montana is always on the phone. Like in every single card that he has, he's either got a stomach ache or he's on the phone. It's so ridiculous.
Joe Montana, he's up there with one of the greatest of all time quarterbacks.
Yeah, he was the greatest for so long, and he just kind of lost favor slowly as Tom Brady rose to everything.
Yep. Peyton Manning also, he's up there. Peyton Manning rookie cards. Yeah. They are criminally undervalued, Peyton Manning cards, rookie cards. And obviously Drew Brees, he's the active, stat of crusher right now. Like he's going to be cemented, and that's why I went heavy on Drew Brees cards. I just really wish he would win another Super Bowl.
I didn't get any Drew Brees cards. That's one dude that I didn't end up with any of.
Yeah, he's leading at 77,000 yards. I think that if Brady, I don't think Brady's going to beat him. I think Drew Brees is going to hold that title for many years to come. Look at all these active players that are creeping up the stats.
You like Aaron Rodgers?
I'm not a. I mean, his market is, I think, definitely a lot of collectors out there picking up Aaron Rodgers stuff. He's Green Bay quarterback. I think the Green Bay Packers have a huge card collecting community. They want to collect the Aaron Rodgers, the Brett Favre stuff. But, you know, I would. I've been picking up Matt Ryan. I've got a bunch of Matt Ryan stuff.
Yeah, Matt Ryan's a good quarterback.
Russell Wilson, he's getting up there. Look at this. Joe Namath's all the way down here, number 64. Joe Namath. Oh, wait, not Joe Namath.
That's crazy.
And that's another quarterback people would say. If you pulled anybody off the street and they would, you asked them, who's the greatest quarterback of all time? A lot of people would say Joe Namath. It's because he was he was a household name, and they probably don't know any other quarterbacks. Well, now a lot of guys would probably say Tom Brady because Tom Brady's in the news a lot. Guys and gals. Yeah. So
Tom Brady is the news a lot.
Yeah. I'm excited to see how they do at Tampa Bay.
Yeah, I picked up a bunch of Mike Evans Prism rookie cards.
Oh yeah,
2014.
I was looking at Mike Evans just the other day. He's because of Tom Brady, and he's a good he's tall. He's a pretty good receiver, I think. 6'5". He's still young. 27.
Yeah, exactly. I think honestly, there's a lot of opportunities out there in football cards because we don't really know how the games are going to affect or blow the cards up. I know it's going to happen less because it's only going to happen once a week, but I mean, from what we've seen with basketball, with the cards just going berserk, I believe that could happen in football too. But what is going to trigger it? Is the football like when Tom Brady gets sacked? Is whoever sacked him, is his card going to just triple in value? You know what I mean? Like, how is that going to happen? And how do we take the best advantage of it for doing the day trading to pay for the stuff we want to keep long term as collectors? So it'll be interesting to see how that unfolds when football gets here. But yeah, picking up guys who are going to be with quarterbacks who are hyped up. And I think Ryan Tannehill, I think his Topps Chrome card is pretty underpriced at $6 or less. Because I think Tannehill has a lot of potential, and yes, his rookie card for Prism is Premier 2012 Prism. It's like a $40 card, but his Topps Chrome is only $6, and that's probably going to be the next card that people turn to once that Prism card is out of reach. And he has a lot of opportunities. He was like the most improved player last year, and people think he's going to put up a career year. If that's the case, who's he going to be throwing to? Who's he going to be kicking ass with? And then try to pick up some of their cards dirt cheap.
Yeah, you made a good point. Football card hype. It's you got to wait a week, and unlike basketball, where the prices can literally go up overnight because they play so frequently. However, with football, I mean, it's just like a big, huge guessing game. You're like, oh man, I really hope Dak has a good season or a good game. I hope he throws for over 400 yards and has 3 touchdowns. If that happens in one game, you're like, okay, I'm going to wait one more game and see if he does it again. And then if he does a bad game or the quarterback does bad, then you're going to hold off. It's just,
that's what I'm saying. Like, how many bad games can we get through before a guy's cards tank? So take Daniel Jones, for instance. Daniel Jones, the New York Giants guy, the successor to Eli Manning. His Prism rookie cards are in the $70 range raw. What happens when Daniel Jones puts up a stinker and then another stinker? Is that a $10 card? Did everybody just get gutted? Like how? And maybe you buy at $10, and then he has 3 good games in a row, and now it's an $80 card. Like, where's the roller coaster going to stop?
The card can go from like $5 to $40, and then it can drop right back down to $5.
Right, exactly.
Because
how is that good?
Yeah, so that football, it's tough, and that's why I like to look at the stats and like we were looking at, and go off of that, opposed to doing it live. Like, he had a 500-yard game. Like Jared Goff, he had incredible games throughout his career, individual games. However, he had a bunch of bad ones too. So if you
Right.
bought Goff from the hype of one game, you lost money because I've been watching this Jared Goff it go up and down, up and down. Right now it's
Well,
pretty.
remember the guy last time we did this said that Jared Goff was trash, capital
Yeah.
trash.
Yeah. I mean, there's no telling really because you gotta there's just you got to look more into a player before you can write him off.
Goff stinks. How many people out there are Goff? Can we get a poll in the chat? Is Goff or no? Goff or scoff?
I think they're gonna.
Scoff.
I think they're gonna do good this year.
I
And for
honestly think we're going to see some of the best football that we've seen because it's going to be an interesting dynamic without a crowd, with people waiting for basketball and the basketball players wanting to play so badly and then not having any crowd. We've seen some of the best basketball we've ever seen. And I'm wondering if the focus will be there and if the lack of the crowd will make it such that it's a more competitive chess game situation rather than just, an average football game. It's going to be interesting to see.
yeah, I'm not sure what the NFL is gonna do. It's I'm just I want everything to go back to normal. I want the audience.
Scoff.
I want. What are they saying?
Well, I said golf or scoff. Someone said scoff. That's funny. Oh, that's great.
Yeah, there's a lot of golf haters. Let's see.
Yeah,
What are we
like
saying?
that guy.
Golf bad, but he's a QB, so it literally doesn't matter.
Golf better than Tannehill, yeah.
Carson
And
Wentz
again,
is,
guys, part of my like strategy is not so much to pick the best players. I said that in my most recent video. I know Tannehill's not the best quarterback, but if he's most improved and he's hungry and he has a few good games, that $6 Chrome card I could flip for $25 or $30 back into the market. So it's not like I went out and bought 50 of them. I went out and bought like 15 of them. I'm just here. Not only do I collect long term, but I also day trade. And when I'm day trading, I'm looking for events that can make cards go up, and I'm looking for cards that have a lot of room. Another guy is Tevin Coleman. There's a little bit of hype around Tevin Coleman. He had that foot injury last year that kept him from having the rest of a good season, but he still had a good season. You can get his Prism rookies for $2. If he's out there with Garoppolo and he ends up having a great start to a season, his toes not bothering him, and he puts up 1,000 yards, whatever, and he's going to be there deep, maybe in the playoffs with that team, the 49ers, his card's going to be worth a lot more than $2. Even if it goes up to $20, I can make $15 off of it after fees. That's my day trade.
yeah. I like to be very strategic and buy a little bit of everything, but don't just. I don't like to. A lot of guys out there ask me about players. Like, what about this player? What about this player? And I look at their stats, and I'm like, I don't even understand why they would be looking to that player to begin with. And if so, let's look at Tevin Coleman's stats. He is.
Take a look. It's really not that bad for $2. It's interesting. And Mike, if you're asking me that question, I'm a professional poker player and I do the sports card investing on the side. The day trading is like a game for me. So I know that PSA collector is primarily a collector. I collect as well. I love collecting, but I also love the day trading because I love the game aspect of it.
So he plays for the 49ers. Okay. So he just got traded. Interesting. Okay. So yeah, you're right. I mean, he's averaging under 1,000 yards. So that's kind of.
But again, last season he did have a toe injury that kept him out,
Gotcha.
and that's what I mean. He's only been in the league for a couple of years. He's getting better. He would have. I mean, he put up 500 or 600 yards last year with a toe injury, and not even playing in more than 11 or 12 games. So I believe that he could have his best season this year.
I mean, the 49ers were they were hot last year.
And if he doesn't, my scratch off ticket for $2 doesn't really hurt me that much. Like, I know what I'm getting myself into, and I'll win on other guys because it's not just Tevin Coleman. I'm in on other guys. So if I don't win on Tannehill or Coleman, somebody's going to win and pay for those guys. Yeah,
the running backs are really risky. I was buying up Jordan Howard when back when he was playing with the Bears because he was leading the league in rushing yards, or he was he was up there. However, he had a good rookie year. He had 1,300 yards, 6 TDs. His second year, he did okay. He actually did pretty good. And then his third year, he got 4th year he got traded to the Eagles. Now I think he plays for the Dolphins. I got a bunch of his stuff. I'm going to hold on him. I'm going to hold. He's only 24. Running backs, they're risky. However, if you get in early and you wait and you hold, and they get traded to a team that actually utilizes them efficiently, and they're able to get their stats up, and you get in early. Also, I like to do the running backs. If you like the running back, why not? Go ahead and buy, collect, and hope for the best. However, they are one of the riskiest positions to invest in. Ezekiel Elliott is a great example. His stuff has just gone up and down, up and down. I think Saquon Barkley is another hot one right now.
Yeah, Barkley is one of the best running backs, if not the most hyped up running back. And his cards have definitely reflected that. You can get his Prism for about $70, but his rookie. Dang. But that's what I mean. Like, you invest in his rookies, how many can you buy versus how many cheap guys could you buy? Like, if I buy one Barkley rookie for $70, I could have bought 35 Tevin Colemans, or split that up between 5 different guys similar to Tevin Coleman, and just have a better ROI overall.
Yeah, and that's that kind of. I'm on the fence. I find myself asking myself, what's the better option? Should I go ahead and pay $70 for, let's say, $70 for a Patrick Mahomes PSA 8 score rookie, okay? Or pay $70 for a prospect quarterback that I think could have a breakout season for like a bunch of them. And
see, I would say I would go for a lesser card. Like, if the Prism was 70, I would look into the Select, because maybe the Select is only 25 or 30.
Oh yeah, you're right. That's another option as well. So what I'm trying to I'm kicking myself for spending money on like Marvin Bagley, DeAndre Ayton, those prospect players, Mo Bamba and stuff like that, when I could have been spending that money on the expensive Luka rookies and the expensive Luka, which at the time they were expensive. However, now they're even more expensive. And those cards, those prospect players that I was kind of gambling on, the prices are the same. So it's all up. It's like it's a tough decision to make, and I'm slowly learning to go ahead and take a gamble, have fun with it, buy that dirt cheap stuff, with the intention of submitting the PSA, because that's almost a guaranteed profit. If you submit the card to PSA, you pay $2 for it, an additional 10. Your total investment is 12. You sell it for 30. That's profit.
That is how you get the highest ROI from your cards, and that is one way that when you are buying in bulk, like if I'm going to get Tevin Coleman and I get 15 of them or something, I can take the tightest looking 3 that look like PSA 10s, and if he looks like he's starting to do good, then I can just ship them to PSA and get that flip in a few months or whatever. But you also have to consider, when the card comes back, what's the market going to look like for that player then as well, and kind of go from there.
Yeah. So it's definitely a tough decision on what to buy. Cards, players. Do you want to buy the player that's already hype and it's got a lot of eyeballs on him? Or do you want to buy that player that's not necessarily hype right now and not many eyeballs on him now? However, could have eyeballs on him in the future.
I would say it depends on how risk averse you are. Like, if you can't take it, like if it's just going to fray your brain if that guy tanks and you can't handle the loss, then just go ahead and buy the Mahomes scorecard, and that Mahomes is solid. He's always there. That is a quality investment that's not going to turn you down. You might not get that much of a high return each year on a score, a PSA 8 specifically, but you're not going to ever have that card go down. So if you're not risk averse and you don't like losing money randomly, you don't like gambling at all, then please just buy better, tighter investment guys. Buy the Connor McDavids, buy those types, buy LeBron James, Michael Jordan. Don't take a lot of the speculative guys.
Yeah, and I can't help myself. I'm always trying to buy the next Luka or the next Patrick Mahomes.
Yep.
And you just got to know when to stop yourself, and don't go too heavy into it, and have like a closet or a room full of these prospect cards that there's no really action going on, when you could have spent the majority of that money on a card that was guaranteed to be going up. But it's to collect what you want, collect who you want. It's a hobby. There is no right or wrong way to do it.
whatever makes you happy and you enjoy the entertainment value you get out of it, that's what you do.
Yeah. And we're just here kind of sharing our thought process and what we're doing and looking at too. Guys, the hobby is always evolving. It's changing. It's growing. There, there is no Nostradamus sports card collector out there who knows what card to buy next. It's just all lucky guesses. Essentially, it's all lucky guesses, and it's fun.
Research can give you a leg up, but you're right. Yes, there's a lot of variance, and honestly, if one game went one different way or one player caught one ball differently, just could be completely different.
Yep. There is. We're trying to make a more educated guess by looking at the stats and looking at the market, the hype videos, and stuff like that. And it's fun. It's addicting, and the hobby's only going to get bigger, and that's why we were talking about hockey earlier, because we see a huge potential for hockey cards. So I think I'm gonna end it here, guys.
We've been going an hour and a half. It's a pretty long video.
We've been going. Thank you all for hanging out and chatting with us. Check out Vegas Fine 777 on YouTube. Follow him. Give him some support.
Thank you very much.
I got a low-hanging fruit video coming out next week. I already released it to my Patreons. Check it out on patreon.com, PSA Collector, if you want to get in early on that. Other than that, guys, y'all have a good weekend. God bless. See you next time.
See you later, guys.
See you guys. Whoops. Shoot. Oh man.
Nice.